Thank you for joining us this week on Collective Imagination, a D&D actual play podcast that takes place entirely within our collective imagination. I'm Paco, the DM, and today we are wrapping up the first of our 3 episodes, which are the backstories of the Copper Guard, our band of unlikely heroes who are joining together to help save the world, as adventurers do. And an emphasis on the unlikely for the heroes that we are met with today. We are introducing you to Taisiya Malthazaar, a dark elf rogue played by Sabrina Chong, as well as Iverson Lemarque, a tiefling gunslinger. Now, the gunslinger that we are using for this podcast is created by HeavyArms and is available for purchase on HeavyArms.com. Thank you so much to HeavyArms for providing permission for us to use his content on this podcast. We're very thankful to be able to showcase such quality D&D 5e homebrew. Again, it's HeavyArms.com. Let's start with Taisiya Malthazaar. Taisiya Malthazaar is a dark elf rogue with a mysterious background. She's made a life for herself in the town of Raven's Perch. The southern nation of Argent is often called the land of second chances. The Paragon, or divine ruler, of Argent had enacted a law 20 years prior that allowed for amnesty for any criminal of the Archivox Union to find peace within its borders. But there were those who took advantage of the Paragon's kindness and were placed under the harshest judgments. It struck fear into the citizens of the Union, to the point where some thought that they fared better living lives of crime outside of Argent, rather than potentially face the wrath of the Paragon. As Argent's notoriety was spread across the Union, people of all sorts moved into its lands as a means of escape from their old lives. Some people didn't even do anything wrong. They just looked to Argent as an opportunity to start over. In a small town, in its countryside, there lives a dark elf, having made a new life for herself like so many others. She's dashing between tables and countertops because it's peak service at a tavern called the Wretched Talon. Describe Taisiya and what she's doing.
Taisiya is a slight, petite dark elf. She's maybe 5'1". She's really unassuming is what it is, you know? And she's got very, light hair, cropped short, but keeps it under a hood at all times. Mm-hmm. Just a cowl. I learned what that was recently.
A cowl?
A cowl. Yeah, she takes pride in her work, definitely, but keeps quiet.
Poking his head out from the back, kind of shouting a little bit, not so much that it's shouting, but enough to get over the noise of the crowd, is Marcus. Hey, Taisiya, once the rush dies down, there's some compost out back that I'll need you to take over to Broden's folks. Just don't overwork yourself now, because there's more work later.
Don't overwork now.
Don't overthink it either. Oh. Just do what you gotta do, okay?
Oh, yes, boss.
Okay, forget I said anything.
Yes.
Keep doing what you're doing, okay, and then come see me later.
I'm so confused.
A drunk man over kind of slaps you on the shoulder and goes, "That makes 2 of us."
Yes, sir. Are you ready to tap out? I see that you have purchased 3 whiskeys. You have also purchased all of these items as well.
Guilty as charged.
Yes. Yeah, I understand. That will be 3 gold.
Oh, I'm good for it. I'm good. Just tell Marcus. I'm good for it.
I will not tell my boss that I have not collected any money. If anything, I will find it for you. You're good for it. Is that your name?
What kind of dark elf magic are you working here?
It's called Words and Business.
He kind of tries to look at you as straight as he can, mm-hmm, being as drunk as he is. Mm-hmm. And then he kind of shouts, "Marcus!" And Marcus pokes his head out. And he just kind of looks at the scene that's going on. He goes, "Who cares? He's good for it. Just leave him alone." And he kind of
yes, boss,
smirks at you like, "I said okay. I'm good for it."
Does he walk away?
No, he's still sitting there.
He's just sitting there?
Yeah, he's just sitting there. But behind you, you've been observing them throughout the night, and they're here every so often. It's a guy and a girl. No one ever really bothers them. They just kind of sit over in the corner. you've been noticing something kind of weird and off. And this guy's, he's got his arms around, or his arm around her and kind of like chatting and whispering some things in her ear. He definitely seems to be a bit on the drunker side, and she seems to be looking a bit uncomfortable.
Okay. Do I know her name?
You don't?
I don't know her name, but it's always them two together?
Yes.
Okay, Taisiya will make her rounds, not hoping, but she's going to plan to end at that table. And she is going to make direct eye contact with this woman.
Yes.
And she's going to, and this is probably more than she's really ever said besides closing up people's tabs. She's not the most hospitable waitress, but she goes up to them and says, how is everything? Is everything to your liking? How are you doing? Looking directly at her.
I'm doing okay. I think we're fine. And the guy kind of goes, we're fine. You don't need a...
I see, sir, that you are currently drinking a whiskey. Did you know that if your companion comes to the... today is your lucky day. If your companion comes to the bar and orders her partner a drink, it will be free. Did you know this? It has been on posters all around the city.
Can you roll a deception? That is the heaviest dice ever.
It's a 13.
You can kind of see in their faces that there's like a, or at least in the guy's face, that there's like a, okay.
It has been all around the town. It is a ladies' night. So if the lady comes and gets, because you obviously, sir, you're the one who is kind of, more drinking than the lady. I'm sorry.
You look at the whiskey that you've placed on the table. He has not touched it. Marcus kind of shouts over from the back. He goes, Taisiya.
Yes, sir. One moment. Lady, but the lady, if she comes to the...
Taisiya.
Yes, sir.
I said don't overwork yourself. I still have stuff for you to do later.
Yes, I understand. Please come to the bar if you guys want to get on this super cool
Taisiya.
deal. Yes, sir. Is he still in the back, or is he walking up to the table?
He's at this point walking up. Are you okay?
Me, sir?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm very good, sir. Just checking on our great paying customers.
You look back at the table. You've been talking to an empty table. Hey, are you okay?
Yes.
All right. No. It's okay. How about go to the back, take the composts over to Broden's people, and you're good for the night. I can wrap things up here.
It just a joke. A practical joke, sir.
Okay.
I was practicing.
Regardless, it looks like Vern's the last one who's probably going to cause me any trouble, so I'm used to taking care of him. Just take the composts, and I'll see you tomorrow.
I was practicing. And she walks out.
It's raining outside. The kind of chill rain, often accompanied by an eerie feeling. You grab the composts. Do you head straight over to Broden's? Are you even going there?
Yes.
Okay.
Definitely. It's just taking her a bit at the back to gather herself, and she begins walking. It's just a slower process today.
Mm-hmm. The bag's easy enough to carry, and it's in more of like a sturdy sack that you kind of slink over your shoulder. There's a guy pokes over on your left side. He goes, "You need a little help with that?"
No, thank you. I'm fine.
No, please. I'm happy to.
Do I know this man?
No, you don't recognize him.
I don't recognize him?
You hardly see any features on him.
No, sir. Thank you. I am good.
As you keep on walking away, carrying this, he kind of keeps a couple paces behind you. If you need it, I can help. Just kind of some pestering talk a little bit. And what he's saying is helpful, but you can feel in the tone at least. You're not sure if it actually is.
Okay. How far is Broden's place?
Maybe 2 or 3 more blocks.
Do I know enough about this town that I've been in to know what's in between.
You know.
She's like not having it. Like she's not in the mood. Maybe about a block later, does he continue to speak as we're going? Or is he just silently keeping pace
It's
behind me?
maybe like every 30 seconds or so he'll say something, just kind of goading. Like he's trying to provoke a reaction.
She's going to, at best, ignore him, and she's going to drop it off at Broden's place. Sure that he will continue to follow.
And sure enough, he does. And kind of as you stop to drop it off at his place, he doesn't keep approaching. He maintains a distance. And at this point, the sayings have more turned into like, wow, good job. You're a lot stronger than you look. Negging.
I'm going to walk maybe just 1 block away from Broden's place. And then I'm going to turn very sharply. How can I help you?
I'm just a bit bored, looking for company.
There are a few great taverns that you can go to, but please.
No, I've already been there.
This is your only warning.
Warning?
Yes. This is the only thing that I will offer you in this moment. Leave me be, and nothing will happen.
He's had his hands kind of like under like this half cloak.
My hands are also in my cloak.
I don't think I like your tone. You see this faint glimmer of a dagger.
And how many paces is he away from me?
You can determine that.
I'll say he's 3 feet. I think he's within distance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you do?
She smirks and starts walking backwards. I'm heading towards the next alley that I can find.
It's, I'd say a couple paces behind you.
Okay.
You kind of look over to be sure. It's as empty and inviting as it could be for someone like you.
Great.
I don't know whose foot you think the shoe's on, girl, but I don't think it's on yours. And at this point, the knife's already kind of like out of the cloak. He's like doing some flips and twists on his hand.
Where I'm from, we have a saying. Who draws first? I can assure you, you have been dead for the last 15 minutes following me. And now let's make it official, shall we?
Roll initiative.
Okay, great.
I'm going to set his initiative just at a 15.
Okay.
If you get higher than that, again,
22.
with the heaviest dice on earth.
Listen, I need everybody to know that I'm rolling dice. That we're getting into this.
With a 22. He tries to lunge and attack, but all he's given you is an opening.
Perfect. With Taisya's left hand, she's going to swoop his attacking hand. She's going to grab his wrist, and she's going to break his arm over her shoulder. Ooh, that's a natural 20, my guy.
Oh.
For a 24. Nothing like sweet justice, you know what I'm saying?
As you hit it with your left hand, the knife falls out. And you can see one moment of regret before his arm bends in a way that it shouldn't bend. And he kind of screams out just a little bit, but covers his mouth so as not to draw attention. He's going to try and wrestle like up against you, but you effectively have him where you want him. And at this point comes the bargaining. Okay, no, I'm sorry. I just trying to make friends. But I can leave you alone. I can go. We can just be done. We can be done with this.
Where I'm from, there is no such thing as friends. There is one thing that you could possibly be, and that is prey. And she's going to the knife that she has had in her hand, ready to go up her sleeve. She is going to stab in his neck.
Ooh. You have him in such a way that I'm not going to require any rolls for it. As he tries to scream out, it is just muffled silence. You pull back further into the alleyway to ensure you're out of sight.
before I leave, and before I know he's gone, I pull him by the scruff and I say, "Thank you. This is exactly what I needed today."
You walk out of the alleyway.
Take my knife, grab his dagger that he had. With my cloak, I'm going to just stick it back into the spot and put his hand on it, and I'm going to leave.
Ooh, that just kind of lingers as the camera zooms out on this dark alleyway. The people of this town, unsuspecting and unknowing of what had transpired. The next morning, you head in for another day of work at the Wretched Talon.
Mm-hmm.
Marcus is already standing at the countertops, prepping food for the night service. But it's still maybe a couple hours before patrons and regulars show up. Marcus looks as you enter. He goes, "You feeling better today?"
Yes, sir. Nothing like a good exercise to get me right and ready.
You speak with the weirdest cadence. I don't know. Do you know that word, cadence?
You know what? I think I'm beginning to learn this word that you mean. Yes, thank you.
Well, I'm probably going to have you off a little bit early tonight. They found a guy over in one of the alleyways by Broden's place, and I was beside myself this morning when I heard the news, considering I'd sent you that way, and it could have very well just have been you. And so...
Sir, what happened?
Some guy was found with a knife up in his neck. Some people are saying maybe he offed himself, but I don't know. You never know. Even in Argent, people aren't the best to each other.
Yes, I understand.
So I'll probably have you out a little earlier, but that just means more work for now.
Sounds good. No worries. Yes, boss.
Throughout this whole conversation, again, before the patrons and the regulars come in, you've been ignoring two figures that are sitting at the corner table, kind of chatting with each other, and ignoring a third on the opposite corner as a man with a gash on his neck sits at a table, kind of twiddling his fingers. You good?
Yes, sir. I'm just excited for the day to spend it with friends.
And we wrap up our backstories with one named Iverson Lemarque. Played by Jacob Coulson, Iverson Lemarque comes from a family of prestigious gunslingers, or at least it was a family. Earlier in history, there was a splintering, which set the Lemarques against each other. One family became a peacekeeping force called the Brands, while another family stuck to their wiles, labeling themselves the Inks. And as for Iverson Lemarque, well, he could just be finding himself in the middle of all of it. Rain falls on the northern city of Illengard, as it has yesterday and the day before that, and practically every other day for decades. The constant downpour has become a fixture of the city. It's also considered to be the base of modern politics and decision-making for the Archivox Union since its establishment 20 years ago. The new union was said to bring peace to the lands and end the near-constant state of war that plagued Seville for centuries prior. And to their credit, war on the national scale has decreased, and how could it not when all the people that move the pawns are lifelong friends and adventurers? But as far as the common man is concerned, all the Archivox is good for is more empty promises from on high. We see a man running down the street, a pistol at his side. He's pushing people over as he bobs and weaves through the crowds a bit clumsily, running from the authorities. He's causing a commotion as he ducks into alleyways. He eventually gets tangled in the refuse that litters the alleyways, and he slips over his own foot, tumbling into a puddle against a brick wall, the wind knocked out of him. He's coughing as he's leaning up against this wall, and the authorities catch up to this man. And Jacob, could you please describe the authorities that catch up to this person?
Iverson is a blue tiefling with one gun, just a pistol for now. But he wears the same thing as everybody else does. His horns poke through his hat.
And he's also adorned in kind of like the military regalia, the brands, right? So it's kind of this half plate going on.
Right.
Lots of leather adornments.
Right.
Very like military meets cowboys.
Exactly.
The man, as he kind of coughs just the dregs of airlessness out of him, gripping at his foot, he kind of looks up at you. Well, it's comforting to know that family still means something to a brand. Otherwise, you wouldn't be hesitating the way that you are right now. As he kind of eyes a bit of a shaky hand, reaching for the pistol at your side.
Family has always meant everything in the brands. I hope you know that.
That's a bit ironic. As far as we're concerned, you guys are the traitors. And he pulls the leather garb over his shoulder and you see the inks. But hey, hold on. I'm not causing any trouble. And he reaches down to the pistol. Do you do anything as he's reaching?
I think his hand that was shaky is a lot more steady now.
He takes the pistol, but not in a position that he's ready to shoot anything. Places it on the ground. Kind of lifts up his hands. You get a good look at the guy. He's just super disheveled. His hair is just matted from falling over the alleyway, smeared with dirt and stuff. And he kind of looks up at you through his bangs. He says, "You're free to take it. I'm not causing trouble here. But be good with it. It's you know the value of guns." And as he says that, the person who has been shadowing you for the last couple days, Ari, he's a younger human guy, brown-haired, ruddy skin, which is uncommon considering the amount of gray skies and rainfall this section of the world gets. He catches up, a bit breathless. Unbelievable. Just more ink trash in the mooring yard. And he kind of dusts himself off a little bit. But with your partner back at your side and a gun between you and this criminal, what do you do?
Ari, pick up that gun. Slowly, carefully.
Okay. Walks over, and he keeps his eyes trained on the other guy as he kind of reaches for the gun. And you see him spit over in the guy's direction as he walks back to you.
Ari just spit on the guy?
Yeah.
Treat him with respect like you treat your gun, boy.
A gun does what it says. You point it one direction, you shoot it, and it shoots. I think that's a lot more that can be trusted than an ink over here. And he kind of looks at the gun. He goes, "It's pretty nice, though." He kind of slips it in his back. They cause the commotion. We fix the commotion. Inks and brands, two different worlds. He says that with way too much confidence for a guy who has been shadowing you as long as he has, which is like 3 days. If you let an ink like him run freely, then we have to answer for whatever blood they shed.
Can I roll a history check to attempt to remember what he actually did?
Oh, you don't have to roll a history check for that. It was a couple minutes ago. A fight broke out between a couple inks, and they scattered once you guys showed up. The inks are marked by personal freedom. They're marked by don't get in my way, yeehaw, rootin' tootin', pew pew, cowboy.
Right.
For you all, it's kind of like the responsible older brother of the family, where it's like, okay, we were hired with a job to do what we got to do. And inks, it's a shame that they even carry the Lemarque name, because you got the peacekeepers and the troublemakers both coming from the same family. Now, to say family is a bit inaccurate. It's more like a guild.
Yeah.
And it's just who's got the legal rights over a name like that.
Mm-hmm.
The guy who's kind of up against the wall, he says, "Am I supposed to do anything? Can I go? Or are you going to take me in, rough me up for a bit, and then I can go? I gave you my gun. I don't think I'm much of a threat without it."
You're right. Justice ones, get up and leave.
As he does so, he kind of dusts himself off, tips his hat. You kind of see Ari is like surprised that you're even doing this, and is kind of stumbling over his words as to like find a justification as to why you shouldn't be offering the mercy that you are. I'm gonna say it's a bit of an awkward walk back. Mm-hmm. Ari kind of says again, "It's blood on your hands. If you let people like that go, all they're gonna do is end up right where we started, just with a little more bruises, a little more cuts, and probably some passerbys and bystanders with a little more bullet holes."
How much do you actually know what they've done?
I don't think I need to. I know what I've been told. Top of my class. I don't think I'd be given the station that I was given with a man such as yourself if I wasn't successful. I think you see in his eyes, like, the positivity that everyone loses the longer they stay here. What does Iverson think when confronted with that kind of person?
I think he feels as though this guy's obviously pretty naive to what's actually going on. Do you not think that what the schools teach you would be a bit more one-sided than what you've seen?
A couple of years ago, and even talk like that could have landed you behind bars. I don't doubt what I'm told. I pursued this institution, and I don't believe you just fell into it either. There's got to be a reason you're standing here today.
Family.
You guys eventually make it back to the barracks, part your ways. Before he does, Ari hands you the pistol. You should probably get this checked in, reported, and put under evidence. I don't feel comfortable carrying around something like this. And you kind of like feel the heft in your hands and like give it a look. And it is like pretty ornate. You guys have like standard issue guns that each one looks exactly like the other one. But this is probably one of the first times that you've seen something with such a personal touch and like dedication to like the personality behind the weapon that somebody holds. As you make your way back to the barracks, you kind of see a group of other Lemarques talking to one another. One of them looks up at you, brown hair, pretty tightly like pulled back into a ponytail, as is standard for Lemarque brands. You recognize her to be Rosalind. Hey, stranger. A couple of us were going to go out back to the mooring yard, get a couple drinks, if you're interested. Come on. Is the world just a little heavier on your shoulders than it is on ours?
Not really. Let's go.
Before you do, can you go and grab Ari as well? He just has been looking a little tight-shouldered, and I think he kind of needs to understand a bit more of how the world works.
You're right.
You guys head back down to the mooring yard, which after dark has a lot more lively of an atmosphere than the drab and dreariness and gray skies that it is throughout the day. Almost a completely different world. Mm-hmm. People push you along on the shoulder, and Rosalind kind of grabs you by the hand and leads you through the crowds to a place called The Bitter Taste, a tavern that you can already hear the laughs, yells, and screams from the outside. As you approach, there's a sound of a bottle breaking. Rosalind and the rest of the crew are kind of laughing alongside each other, but you notice Ari kind of get in front of the crowd with a little bit of excitement, look through the door, and kicks it open and heads on in.
He's definitely following after Ari. Mm-hmm. Definitely not kicking down the door, but
treating with a little more respect.
With a little more respect.
Ari finds you a table, gets rounds going. Rosalind kind of says, "So what is it for the two of you? It looks like you just had a bit of a harrowing encounter or something."
Well, the ink, I'd say he was all hat, no cattle. But other than that, I think Ari's still trying to get used to this whole life as a brand.
Ari kind of laughs at that and just says, I don't know what there is to get used to. I was taught what I was taught. If I'm told otherwise as soon as I'm here out on the streets, and you kind of notice in his tone that he's losing a little bit of like the deference and hierarchy between you two. If it's a different world than what I'm told, then why did they teach me otherwise?
Well, it don't take a very big person to hold a grudge. A lot of what the inks and the brands have to deal with is that grudge that was held by a higher person.
Mm-hmm. Talking about the king?
I won't name any names, but we're in the king's court.
Yeah, okay. It's spats and arguments on the king, his brother, and Daddy. Daddy got his hands in the honeypot and started doing a couple wrong things, and now everyone's paying for it? We're all at war with each other because of it?
I think you should treat that with a little bit more respect.
Rosalind takes a deep drink, ignoring the conversation at hand. Ari says, I don't know what kind of respect it deserves. He slaps his drink down, pulls out hand-rolled cigarette, goes, I'll be outside.
You do that.
Rosalind waits before he gets out the door. I would say I remember when I was like that, but I don't recall licking that many boots ever.
I don't even recall licking that many boots in my life either. So
I don't know what they're teaching in the schoolhouse.
I think it's changed. I think it's definitely changed.
Sounds like. Yeah. Cheers to a changing world.
Cheers to a changing world.
As your glasses clink, you hear within the jovial shouts from outside, there's a bit more of angered shouts. And between the angered shouts, you kind of hear a bit of screams as within the tavern, some of the atmosphere dies down a bit as it sounds like there's something going on right outside.
Well, Iverson, being a part of the military, stands up and obviously has his hand trained on his gun and begins to slowly walk out.
As you push through the doors and kind of look into the outside, you see Ari and you see a guy that you saw earlier today getting into a fist fight right outside.
What the hell are you two doing?
Doing what I'm supposed to do. Doing what I should have done.
Get off him now.
No. And he rears back and throws another punch on this guy. And you hear the guy on the ground go, "You're getting weaker by the minute."
I think Iverson would get closer. I said get off him now.
You're too weak to do anything, Iverson. That doesn't mean I gotta listen. There's a bit of a crowd forming.
I think Iverson is going to give him a clean punch to his jaw.
Roll to make an attack.
23 to hit.
On a 23, you pull him off and punch Ari clean right across the jaw. And he grabs his mouth in a bit of what you can now recognize to be drunken surprise. Looks like you're compromising in every area, Iverson.
I don't know what you two have been talking about out here, but when I say get off him, I mean it.
Empty words, Iverson. And he tackles you.
Would I be rolling
this is going to be
here?
a contested strength check. Yeah, for a grapple. 14.
26.
He kind of tackles you, but you get into a bit of a stance. And as he presses up against you, he's just not at all able to get you onto the floor. And you kind of hear the voice behind you groaning at this point. Probably a bit of a drunken stupor himself. Mm-hmm. But he kind of gets up and tries to come around and enter the fight as well.
I think with one hand trained around Ari's neck, he's going to push the other guy down with his other hand.
I'm going to say you don't even need to roll for that, because this guy is way drunker than Ari was, and just kind of as he walks along and you give him one just little push, he kind of stumbles back and slumps onto the ground. And you hear a bit more of a commotion as people going, "Oh my gosh, is he okay?" Whisper, whisper, whisper. And you do notice that there is a scene happening. What do you do?
I think he's going to hold Ari by the scruff of his shirt. What happened out here? Before I make any more decisions.
Nothing needed to happen. This started today. I'm just finishing what you're too scared to do.
Sounds like you're getting weaker by the minute.
I rolled a natural one. As you say that, and you see the anger in his eyes as you're holding on to him, he pulled something from his back pocket and tries to stab at you. But as he kind of stumbles over, completely missing you, and now revealing that he has a knife, you kind of let go of his scruff and he kind of trains it back on you. Nothing good is ever going to happen to this godforsaken city as long as people like him and people like you are walking around.
Put down the knife.
Make me. And what looks like he's running for you, he runs past you and is starting to go back after this ink on the ground.
I'm giving you one more chance. Put down that knife.
I said what I said, and now he's getting on top of this guy. Knife at the ready.
I'm going to use a grit point and use a thing called violently de-escalate. When you hit with a firearm attack, you can spend 1 grit point to force the target to make a strength saving throw. On a fail, the creature drops the weapon and it is thrown a number of feet behind them, equal to 5 times your dexterity modifier.
Okay. Roll an attack.
17 to hit.
It hits. Definitely. But I rolled a 17 plus 3 for the saving throw. So describe for me how that works out, because I want to be clear. This isn't D&D combat where you shoot 1,000 bullets and nothing happens. You're in the middle of a crowd in the street, and you pulled out a gun with the intention to de-escalate, but you pulled out a gun.
Do you think it fired?
I think it fired because you hit, but he didn't drop the knife. So I'm going to say you shot him in the shoulder. Enough to hurt.
It's not a de-escalation.
He's still holding on to the knife, and he kind of like looks back at you, just in bewildered amazement, starts to scream as he runs after you, knife in hand, and is going to make an attack. It's a 5. It's a 2 on the die.
It definitely doesn't hit.
It's I think a good combination of drunkenness, adrenaline, and getting shot in the shoulders will do that to him.
Put down that knife. You're going to have to calm down.
Your words mean nothing at this point, Iverson. You kind of see there's blood over his mouth, and he spits a wad of blood on you.
Don't you remember what they taught you at the academy? Never bring a knife to a gunfight. And Iverson shoots with the intent to kill.
You hear your gun go off, and you're practically like at a point where it's impossible to miss. You see him kind of slump forward into your arms. No more words. You see that ink, and he kind of looks at you with a bit of a sobering, knowing look, almost like saying, "Follow me," and he runs off into an alleyway. At this point, there are screams. There are people calling, trying to look at one another. You kind of look back and you see like Rosalind not knowing what to say, just kind of looking at you and looking at the guy who ran off in a mix of fear and disappointment.
As he runs off towards the ink, he tosses personal gun towards Rosalind.
Other brands start appearing as you run off into the alleyway, but none find your trail. None follow after you. You kind of see like as you're running away, or maybe you don't, but the camera does. As they kind of speak to Rosalind, she stumbles over her words for a moment, saying, "Where'd you go? What direction did he run off in?" And she just says, I don't know. As you kind of run off towards the outskirts of the mooring yard, up against the wall leading out of Illengard, you see the guy leaning up against the wall, kind of like he's been knowingly waiting for you.
I know you know, but I need to get out of here.
Please tell me you got my gun.
I think he pulls it out of his pocket and shows him his gun.
Well, this is your token of passage across the river Styx, boy.
I don't know what I just did.
I said it to you once, and I'll say it to you again. It's refreshing to see a brand who cares about family. I never did get your name, and you got my gun.
Iverson.
Rorik. Thank you so much for joining us on Collective Imagination. It has been such a labor of love, these first few episodes that we've put together nearly a year ago. We've been recording these for about a year, and we just can't thank you enough for being willing to listen to something that we have put so much care and effort into. We are taking a break next week and are joining together on January 1st, 2025 for the first official joining of the Copper Guard. We'll be releasing bi-weekly from then on, but if you join us on Patreon, those opposite weeks, you can listen to Dome, a talkback podcast hosted by Sabrina, in which her and a couple of us cast members are joining together to talk about some of the deeper history behind the characters as well as the world. That, plus so much more exclusive content, is available on Patreon for just $5 a month. Patreon.com/Our Collective Imagination. That's OUR Collective Imagination. You can follow us on social media as well. Our Collective Imagination. Again, OUR Collective Imagination. This podcast is created and distributed by Indie Union Presents and is produced and edited by me. Music and sound design by Monument Studios and creators on Upbeat. All elements have been licensed for use by this podcast. Thank you so much for joining us. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year from us here at Collective Imagination.